Johnny, how will SMEs find the capital they need to grow their businesses?
Well, that's been quite a challenge for a while. And indeed, on the BBC World Service, they're claiming that something like 25% of the world's population are in self-isolation. And those that can are obviously indeed working from home. But I'm sure many entrepreneurs and owners of SMEs, thoughts will be turning to how do they rebuild their businesses once the restrictions are lifted? And given the prospect of a recession now due to the coronavirus pandemic, banks are unlikely to be falling over themselves to actually lend money to some of these businesses. Equity markets, meanwhile, we've seen how extremely volatile they've been. At any rate, according to the FT, we've seen a 20% decline in IPOs in 2019, and they now are at a 3-year low, having raised 10% less in 2019 compared to 2018. So I'm not sure this will necessarily be a good source. But what we are seeing is digital assets offering a real alternative and some real innovation. There's a company called ParkinGo, which operates 80 car parks in different airports all around Europe, and they're looking to raise $15 million euros. And they'll be paying investors not a dividend, but a percentage of their revenue, i.e. a revenue generating token. Meanwhile, PhilGold has just launched on the Hong Kong Digital Exchange, and they're looking to offer a digital asset backed by gold. Then in America, we've seen a company called Fatburger, which buys fast food franchises, and they've issued digital assets worth 40 million backed, very interestingly, by a debt instrument. But what we have seen is Fatburger is actually being analysed and rated by the independent fund rating service Morningstar. And it's this sort of independent analysis that institutions are going to rely on if they're to get engaged in this sector. So what we need is more compliant coin offerings, such as the ones we discussed above. And what we need really is the governments and regulators to do all they can to encourage and embrace to help SMEs to raise capital. After all, SMEs account for 3/5 of workers and more than half of all UK's private sector turnover.